After experiencing The Sims Social and its impressively tedious and annoying gameplay, I was totally turned off to the so-called freemium Sims games. Anything that has you spamming your friends and forcing you into a corner for money is lame in my book of lame things. So when I heard that The Sims Freeplay had been released for mobile devices, my interest in it was on about the same level as my interest in cutting off my arms and legs in order to lose weight. But hey, it was not on Facebook, so it can't be as bad, right? Oh, hindsight, you sly bugger. The Sims Freeplay is currently available on iOS devices like the iPhone and iPad, and for most Android devices. Just go to the appropriate app store, select the game for download, and let it expose your phone's memory to more bloat than it could possibly imagine. Seriously, the game is freaking huge. Before you start downloading it, you're told that it can take upwards of 800 megabytes of space, so do use some caution if you have any kind of data restrictions. Even better, just drive around the neighborhood until you find someone's unencrypted Wi-Fi to leech from, something I totally didn't do. Nope, not me. Once it finishes its precious downloads, the game starts off and drops you right into the action, while assuming that you have an active network connection of some kind, since there is no offline gaming, even though it's a totally solo experience. Man, isn't living in the future great? The Sims Freeplay is a dubious mixture of the classic Sims formula and the resource grinding experience seen in The Sims Social. You have Sims to create and take care of, houses for them to live in and renovate, friendships to explore, romantic flings to get off on, and jobs to work at in order to get that cash money. But you also have the experience points, leveling, objectives, and online perks that The Sims Social brought to the table, like an awkward, uninvited dinner party guest with bad taste. Thankfully, you don't have to molest your friends list in order to just build a freaking bed or anything, but you will be draining your wallet if you want to get very far very quickly. Why? Well, here's the biggest key difference with Freeplay. The entire game takes place in real time. That is, everything that your sim does will take a certain amount of time in the real world to complete. Eating food can literally take half an hour. Watching a movie takes a couple hours. Getting a good night's sleep takes 8 hours, etc. This means that unless you are one of the biggest losers in the known universe, you'll want to be able to speed up these events or you'll be waiting around a lot. The only way to speed things up is to use lifetime points. The longer the action takes, the more lifetime points you'll need to spend in order to finish the action. And here's the kicker. The Sims won't do anything useful on their own, and you can't queue up multiple actions, so you have to keep tabs on your Sims in real time. And you also can't cancel an action once it's been started, so choose wisely. Because once you choose an action, you'll either have to wait the real time it takes to complete it, or use lifetime points to finish it off. You'll earn some lifetime points just by playing the game, but not very many. Of course, this is where the online store comes in to save the day. Kind of like if Superman burned your house to the ground and then asks for your credit card to put out the fire. The game connects directly to the App Store and will charge your preferred payment method for points and in-game currency. This is all technically totally optional, but of course, unless you want to treat this like the world's slowest advancing virtual pet game, it's an easy way out of the aggravation if you only have the cash. And I don't have the cash, so I get to live with the aggravation, which is what I always wanted. Sarcasm? Now, to be fair, the gameplay itself isn't half bad. It's a lot closer to the classic Sims experience than the Sims Social ever hoped to be, in that you have a neighborhood of Sims that can visit each other, occupations to occupy your time, more customization options for housing and your Sims, and more traditional needs to fulfill. And the touch controls fit the game quite well, especially on a tablet computer. I'm playing on a Samsung Galaxy S 4G phone here though, and the 4-inch screen is just too small to be able to really feel comfortable with my sausagey man fingers. But I guess this is a blessing in disguise, because I never felt the desire to play for longer than a few minutes at a time. I might start it up when I'm taking a luscious dump, or eating lunch, or getting in bed, or some mixture of the three. There simply isn't enough to do that makes a longer playing session worthwhile unless you buy a bunch of lifetime points to spend. And I suppose this is by design, but it's not a design I agree with. You could start the game up, have your sim go to bed, and then exit the game and be done, because that will take 8 hours of real time for them to complete. That's not very exciting to me, and not just because I am a rather cynical human being. I guess if you treat it like a virtual pets game, it sort of works. Just kind of pop in every so often and see how things are going, tell your Sims to do something, and then check back in several hours later, like some twisted nanny overlord who's just doing it because they have to, not because they want to. To me, that's just not what a Sims game has ever been about. I want to live a life vicariously through a simulation, and I don't want to be reminded of how much time I'm wasting. And free play, by putting things in real time and severely limiting what I can do without paying up, reminds me constantly that I am indeed wasting my time. Even worse, The Sims free play just reminds me of how much time I actually spend in real life doing pointless crap. So I guess I can thank free play for renewing my resolve to go out and do something worthwhile with my day. I don't know what I'll do with my day, but one thing's for sure, it ain't gonna be spent playing The Sims free play.